Hello and welcome to another episode of From No Crypto to No Crypto. It's the Crypto Coach, Blockchain Wayne, with another cryptocurrency podcast. Today's episode brought to us by Blockchain Training Academy, taking blockchain and cryptocurrency education to the masses. In this podcast, we're going to go to an interview done with Raina Casbon-Kelch. Now, Raina is the Chief Experience Officer of Gilded. So let's head on over to that recorded interview and listen into what Raina has to say. Hey everyone and welcome. It's your host, the Crypto Coach, Blockchain Wayne. Today we are joined by Miss Raina. Raina is the Chief Experience Officer of Gilded. Gilded is they have business solutions for crypto companies. So you think about crypto companies coming out, and there's a lot of business solutions they need for whether it's accounting or other business needs. And so Raina has been with Gilded pretty much since the beginning, right?
Yeah.
All right, Raina. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Since May of 2018 when we got started.
Wow, May of 2018. All right. So tell me, before we get into what Gilded is, because I do want to cover that, but tell me about your journey into crypto. How did you get introduced to cryptocurrency? And then I'll ask some follow-ups from there too.
Well, I already know that you know that story and everyone loves it. I was at a karaoke bar with a girlfriend of mine, and I met a guy who started talking about new money and all the wonderful things that were going to happen, how it was on the same trajectory as the internet. And that is Jason Barger, who that was in 2016, who is now my significant other, still my significant other. And he gave me $5 of Bitcoin on our first date. Had me download a wallet and to my phone, on my Celium wallet. I wrote the seed phrase down on a bar receipt, and I thought he was nuts. So that's kind of where it all started. I spent 3 months trying to prove to him that there was no new money. And then I came across Andreas Antonopoulos and pretty much just tumbled headfirst down the rabbit hole from there.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a great story. I love to hear that. And the irony, how you went from being skeptical of this crazy guy in the bar telling you about internet money to now you're working in the space, right? You've made it your career.
In my journey to prove him wrong, I think I found out that all of us were skeptics at one point. Mm-hmm. I'm in my 40s. When someone starts talking to you about new money, that's illegal. They've had those scams for my entire life. Are you the Nigerian prince from the email scams of the 90s? But then the more research I did, the more it just made sense. And it just opened my eyes to more about what money actually is, because money is different things to different people. It's a medium of exchange. It's a store of value. Gold is a better store of value than the dollar. And that's kind of when that association was made as digital gold. So that's when it kind of started to click for me.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, right? We live in a digital world. We do a lot of things digitally. It makes sense to have that ability to have like a peer-to-peer, almost cash-like system.
Right.
Better.
I mean, everything else is global. We communicate globally, right? I mean, I can talk to someone. I can talk to you. Now you're in the same state as me, so you're not that far away. But I can talk to someone in Singapore. I do it every day. It seems like, and while we can communicate, we can exchange ideas. I can send any type of internet file or digital file to them in seconds. If I want to send them money, the whole game changes. Sending money across borders is a challenge, and Bitcoin fixes that.
Yeah.
Right? Crypto fixes that. So in the last, over the last few years, people use crypto, right? It's peer-to-peer electronic currency. So, and then you have a lot of traders, right? And those were the first markets for crypto. But in the goal of mass adoption, right? Businesses will need to be able to use it as well. And when I talk to the guys at the New Orleans Ethereum meetup, Ken, our CTO, and Gil, business solutions, that was my background. I was selling document management solutions at the time. And when they told me about Gilded Invoices, which was our first release, and I was in instantly. I already wanted to work in the industry. So because I got in, I guess February 2016 is when I met Jason. And so then by May of 2018, I wanted to get in, but it'd be really hard for me to, go on with an ICO or something like that, because I was really popular then. And I really was, all through 2017, the hype cycle. I wasn't ready to give up the job that I had for that. And then when, I started just helping out software developers with an invoicing solution, I understand that. I can do that. So from there, it just, it's accelerated from there. We went to Techstars in New York. And it's been a whirlwind. Being a startup co-founder is the most amazing experience. It's stressful sometimes, lots of times. It's overwhelming. I work more hours than I ever did, but I work those hours by choice, and that's kind of a first. And I get to communicate and talk with people all over the world and help them. So that's what I like about it.
That's really cool. And one of the things I love about your story, getting into like Gilded, and I know we're going to go more into that, but is the fact that so many people think to be in the space, they either have to be the startup founder or they have to be a coder to code blockchain projects. And it's really not the case, right? You took a skill set you've had and you applied it in the crypto. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the guys they were looking for beta testers for their project, and they're software developers. I am the non-technical. I constantly need help with something, like we were talking about earlier with my new green screen. Anyway, but they didn't need that kind of help. They needed someone to talk to people. I talk to humans. It's my superpower. Yeah. It's what I like doing. So, anyway, I just really enjoy the team, and the great group and since then, now we have 10 employees. We have 10 total people on the team. So we're growing a little bit by a little bit.
Nice. So tell us a little bit about Gilded. Like, I know we talked about the invoicing solutions, which was a start. So tell us a little bit about the company and what they've done. You told us a little bit and maybe a vision for them.
Sure. So for businesses to use digital assets, they need more than just the transaction hashes from there, that they download and send to their accountant once a year, right? That's what we do, because we pay taxes. So we download our transactions, send them to our accountant. Our accountant hates us. They don't know what it is. And we pay taxes. But for a business, when you sell something, you buy something, when you use digital currency for that, you need to know what it was you purchased or sold. And that information isn't on the blockchain, nor should it be, right? So what we've done, we created Gilded Invoices first, and it's simple to use. It's non-custodial, but it gives you a record of where this 5 ETH came from or where it went. From there, our users basically they've guided us through this whole process. So they needed other tools. Bookkeeping was one of them. So the Gilded bookkeeping solution launched later, and it pulls all your transactions from wallets and exchange accounts and normalizes that data, and then lets you add, well, actually the software adds income, expense, transfer, or trade to your transactions. And then after the bookkeeping, people needed accounting. So we developed a sync to QuickBooks, where in one click, you can sync a digital asset transaction to your QuickBooks general ledger. Accounting professionals, bookkeepers, CPAs, CFOs, controllers, and some spend hours reconciling all of these transactions, right? And Gilded just makes it a lot simpler, The average time, I guess it took, we actually tested it with Joey, our CFO, who's a CPA. Takes about 5 minutes per transaction to reconcile a payment to an invoice.
Wow.
And with Gilded, you can do an entire month's worth of payments just in 5 minutes period.
Wow. So yeah, definitely a big need for businesses. And I'll tell you, I actually tested out the invoicing system with Jason. He was buying a hat from me, so I sent him a Gilded invoice, and he paid it. If those of you that are listening may not understand what non-custodial means, is Gilded never actually holds the crypto for you. They just provide all the resources to make the transaction happen, but it went straight to my wallet. I basically had my wallets linked to my account, and then the Bitcoin that he paid me went straight to the account.
Yeah, it was really important for us to stay non-custodial. A money services license, first of all, is really expensive, but that's also not the value proposition of crypto. And so, we really wanted to stay as close to that as possible. And with Gilded invoices, if we touched your funds, then we're responsible for them. And the regulatory landscape is, especially when we got started in 2018, everyone was hating on ICOs and that. So, for us, we've remained non-custodial. Everything is wallet to wallet. Gilded never touches anyone's crypto. We've built solutions for custodians, like we built on Coinbase's API. So you can receive payments straight to your Coinbase account using Gilded invoices, but they don't actually go through our servers.
Nice.
Yeah. Stablecoins are huge, right? I think that's what's going to bring crypto to the masses, for businesses. Because a lot of businesses, they run on razor thin profit margins to start with, and with the volatility of Bitcoin and Ethereum, that makes it really difficult for a business owner, right? You paid me $2,500 for this computer, and now it's not exactly $2,500 anymore. So with the use of stable coins really starting to explode, that B2B payments, I believe that's where they're going.
Yeah, and that's so true. You think about it, and I was like, for me, I like to take crypto just because of the long term. But yeah, some businesses that need to be able to rely on that income to pay funds, pay bills and stuff, they can't have those variations in price. Sometimes you're on the good side of that. Sometimes you're on the bad side of that.
2017, we were on the good side, right?
Yeah. So 2 months ago, I had a guy from New Zealand pay me for 2 hats in VeChain, and VeChain has gone up 4x since then. So,
nice.
It's just one of those gambles you take. But having the stablecoin, that's a good story to tell in the end. But at the same time, having the stablecoin option is good because it gives businesses that you're able to calculate what your income is going to be, what your expenses are going to be, and not have to worry about it fluctuating.
Right. And then, for businesses in the US, the capital gain and loss, stable coins takes that difficulty out of the equation too. I mean, I talk to business owners who are in crypto, right? So they're in crypto personally, and they could be a business owner, but when I ask them why they don't accept crypto in their business, they're like, well, my accountant hates me for it. It's difficult. And so that was one of the solutions that we chose to go after and solve. So we make it easier for a business to use crypto, and stablecoins is part of that. But truth be told, over 50% of the invoices and payments sent over Gilded are still Bitcoin. You know, almost all. You know, that's it. People are. They're more confident in Bitcoin. That's the one that they know. But I mean, you know, I see stablecoins really taking over B2B payments at some point.
Yeah. You know, one thing that just popped in my head while you were talking about that is it's probably because the amount of transactions. Like if I'm a business and I occasionally get a Bitcoin transaction, I'm cool with that. But if you tell me 75% or 80% of my transactions are going to be Bitcoin, that may worry me a little, because then my exposure is higher if the market fluctuates right now. Because I mean, I agree. We're a long way to adoption, and there's going to be a lot of volatility along the way. So I think as more payments for a business, their percentage goes up in crypto payments, the probably use of stable coins will go up as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, overseas, overseas, we have a lot of customers everywhere. So our solutions are not just for the US. They are country agnostic. You can, a matter of fact, we have a customer in Russia that I was talking to, in Moscow, that I was just talking to yesterday, helping out with on our intercom bot. The overwhelming majority still is Bitcoin. And Ethereum too is a close second. Then but stablecoins are making their way. They're coming up. They're coming up in the ranks, and I see it as the liquidity is the difficult part, right? So, and that's what people are working on now. There are lots of great companies. Transact. We just launched in the Gilded app the ability to buy crypto, right? To fund your account right inside of our app. So if you have an invoice and you need to pay it, you can do that, and that's through the Transact widget. And Transact, they cover most of the U.S. and Europe, but they cover all of India, and that's going to be huge for us over there, because you know, they've had a lot of great news lately about crypto. You know, regulatorily speaking, is that a word? So using the Transact widget, we support the INR, which is the Indian rupee. We support their native currency. So that's one of the markets that we're really excited about at Gilded too.
Nice. Yeah, I knew it was only a matter of time with India, because you and I are both seeing over the years how many times has China tried to ban Bitcoin and crypto, and it's just, I realize it's not a force you can stop. And I realized India was going to go down that same route when they took a hard stance as a no against it, and then, you know, it didn't really take long for them to reverse it. But there's a big need for it there. There's been some inflation issues with with their currency there, and there's a big need.
And just a lack of banks, period, a lack of places, options. I mean, there are people that live 500 miles from the nearest bank.
Yeah.
What? I mean, so they don't have those kind of services available. And we're American. It's hard for us to understand unless we live somewhere else, or unless we're talking to people in other countries on a regular basis, that the nearest bank is 500 miles away. That doesn't really exist here. But there, it's a way of life, and crypto can really do some great things in countries that are not as developed as we are, and that opens up a bigger market for the U.S., for Europe, for all of us. So I just see it as a win-win, and it's going to take some time for people to get used to it, just like it did for anyone the first time you heard about it. But I mean, crypto's here to stay. technology doesn't go away, right?
Yeah, it's along the phase. Something you mentioned about here in the U.S., and this is something that it's funny because I'm a big fan of Andreas as well. Andreas Antonopoulos taught
How could you not be?
about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. And I've been recently listening to the audiobook Internet of Money Volume 3. And Volume 3, there's one of the talks where he talks about a Swiss bank account in your pocket. And without going into too much detail, he talks about how in the US and Europe and the UK, okay, maybe we don't need crypto. We're not used to it. But like you talked about in India and other places, they need it. In some countries like El Salvador, Venezuela, Zimbabwe, it's life or death for them. They need crypto.
Sure.
And but he said, so why would you want to use it if you're in the US? And it's really, he says it's about exercising your power. Most people think they don't have a chance. You only get a chance to make a difference once every 4 years when you go to the polls. But with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, you get to exercise that sovereign power 365 times a year or more by choosing to use Bitcoin or other cryptocurrency instead of using the old broken financial system.
Well, and if you're in the US and you do business overseas, if you make international payments, you can save a ton of money using crypto.
Yeah.
I mean, the bank wire fees are, foreign exchange fees. A lot of people think of Amazon as, this great place where you can, buy anything you want, right? That's the website version of it. But really, Amazon is a currency exchange.
Yeah.
Right. It allows you to send or to sell your whatever it is you sell on Amazon all over the world and still receive your native currency.
Exactly.
And that's where all the money is in a huge company like Amazon, is in that currency exchange. So
I had never really thought about that. Yeah.
And with crypto, you don't need that.
Yeah.
You don't need it. And so that's where I want us I can't wait for that day, when we get there. It was like, for a long time, everything bad that happened on the internet was, it was because of the internet. It was the internet's fault.
Yeah.
Right. And then all of a sudden, they didn't blame the internet for anything anymore. Because hackers and different scams, they no longer blame the internet for that. Right now, Bitcoin is in that place, crypto is in that place where anything bad happens, where if that Bitcoin is involved, it's Bitcoin's fault.
Yeah.
Bitcoin's a technology.
Just this week, right? With the Twitter.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So now that's Bitcoin's fault? Really? Mm-hmm. We no longer blame cars for car accidents.
Yeah.
Right. We no longer blame email for phishing scams. We don't do that. But we blame Bitcoin because someone used it or, used it to scam people or got money from it. It's not the technology's fault.
Yeah. Yeah.
One day we'll get there.
It's just like anything. It's just like any other form of currency, even cash. It's not inherently good or bad. It just is. It's how it's utilized by the people. But I don't want to make this constantly going back to Andreas Antonopoulos, but I was watching one of his new remastered videos earlier today while I was eating lunch in a restaurant, and he talks about infrastructure inversion, talking about old technology. Electricity was evil fire in your house, right? You're putting in lightning in your walls, and then came electricity. It took a while to get out there, and then cars were developed, and they didn't work great on the old roads where horses were, so they were bad machines that were going to kill people, right?
Yep.
So it's a constant cycle. The internet, you're right. The internet was the same way. Email was the same way. I think to some point, even social media was the same way. In the beginning, it was going to be a bad thing. Most people that didn't want to adopt it, and now everybody is on some form of social media, just about.
I mean, I love Andreas too. We could talk about him forever. I've actually read Volume 3 2 or 3 times. So there's that. But when I was 10 years old, I got a Walkman, and the Walkman was going, it was, it was brand new. It just come out, and it was going to fry your brain.
Yeah.
So, I mean, anything new that comes out, there's something to blame, it's something to blame it on, but this technology isn't going anywhere. It just gets better. And it takes a while for it to mature. But it's the most, it's unhackable so far, right? And as it matures, as it keeps going, it's the only thing, it's the only thing 10 years old, the only computing technology 10 years old that has never been hacked.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a bright future for it, and it can go it'll go in many directions. I mean, DeFi, look how exciting DeFi is.
Yeah.
Right. DeFi will truly allow us to live bankless.
Yeah.
It's a choice. That's your option. That's what I love about it, is it's an option. And I want crypto to be an option for every person, but also every business, obviously, since that's my business.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, businesses need to exist for people to both have jobs and get services and get goods. So, yeah, definitely. So let's jump back in. Tell us a little bit more about some of the things Gilded has done a lot lately, right? So, some partnerships, some different announcements. So, share some of those things with us.
So we launched a solution for Coinbase. On Coinbase, like I said before, for coin market cap, that is. And so it's just an automation solution. So they sell advertising, right? So you imagine I'm a sales rep for them and I'm selling advertising. Well, people that I'm selling to, they're in the crypto industry and they want to pay with crypto. And every now and then I can't get the deal unless they pay with crypto, because that's how crypto is difficult to deal with. So for business. So I'm a salesperson. I can't get this deal unless I can pay with crypto. So now I need to get the CFO or CEO to open their wallet and get me a unique receive address so that I can give it to this customer to pay. Because if in a business, if every payment doesn't have a unique receive address, it makes reconciling the payments to the invoice almost impossible.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't give the same receive address. You'll never know who paid you and who didn't, especially if a lot of what you're selling costs the same thing, right? The amount is the same. So I have to go find the CEO or CFO, get a unique receive address for this customer, then, have a makeshift invoice. Speaking of Andreas, what happened to him when he was invoicing people from QuickBooks with crypto? They shut it off. They shut off his account.
Yeah.
Right. So all of that was difficult. So what we did for them now in their CRM, right, customer relationship manager, we launched integration with Pipedrive, and from Pipedrive, a salesperson just drops a deal. Gilded automatically generates an invoice, sends it to the customer via email. When the customer pays, Gilded detects that payment and closes out that invoice, marks it, verifies it paid. So they have nothing to do with the transaction from the time it leaves the salesperson to the time it's paid. It can be in minutes, and it will be self-reconciled in their accounting system. So that's exciting. We're actually getting ready to launch new functionality for them soon, recurring invoices.
Oh, that was going to be a question I had. So yeah, that's exciting.
I know, we're building it now. I'm excited. We have brilliant developers. They're wonderful. And so yes, you'll be able to, so you want to charge someone $200 a month for 12 months. You put the 12 in and the amount and fill it out and just hit go, and it will send them a Gilded invoice every month. It's about as close as we can get to the subscription model. Because there's no, because we can't pull money from anyone's account. You can't do that. So the invoicing, the recurring invoices are, we're getting that much closer.
Okay. Yeah. It's kind of hard, and some people may not realize that if that aren't as familiar with crypto, it's a push transaction, not a pull. When you swipe a credit card at a retailer, it pulls from your
You're
account.
Giving them permission.
Right. And with that same information, it can pull how many times it wants. Whereas with crypto, it's a push. You've got to initiate the push from the sender, the payee.
Right.
Yeah.
I have to give it to you. You can't take it from me.
Yeah. Yeah. And from what I'm hearing, the only way you can get any closer to subscription type model would be like a smart contract with escrow, but those funds would have to be in the escrow ahead of time. So yeah, there's definitely some more development to be done there, but recurring invoices is awesome because that can kind of bridge the gap with some people that are looking for membership based or recurring monthly payments.
We're excited about that. We just launched an integration with Block Native. So now instead of just typing in your public key to pull your transactions, now you can actually connect your wallets inside Gilded. So that's an exciting integration too. It makes it so much faster and so much easier to get you can connect to your MetaMask, Ledger, Portis. I mean, I don't get paid by them or anything like that. I just absolutely love it. If you haven't used a web wallet before, the Portis wallet is the easiest that I've ever used, and we love it. So, but yeah, that's just one of, like I said, MetaMask, Ledger, and there are others, but MetaMask, Ledger, and Portis are the three that that everyone basically has been waiting for. So hopefully, and Trezor will be soon. Yeah, so we'll be able to pull in your transactions right from the blockchain. You just sync your wallet, and then you can see all of your transactions in one place, and you can sync them to your QuickBooks if you use QuickBooks for your business.
Nice. Yeah, I'm familiar with Ledger and MetaMask. I've used those many times, but I'm gonna have to check out Portis. That's something that I've never really dug into, but I do like the idea of web wallets. I use MetaMask on my browser all the time to pay for stuff or to browse around Decentraland.
So right. Well, Portis was just acquired by Shapeshift.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the native wallet inside of the Shapeshift app.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to figure out where I'd heard that name before. So, awesome stuff. Yeah, I mean, we need solutions like this now that the technology's here, right? The technology's there, and now it's just to see what's going to be built. So it's exciting to see what Gilded's done, and I've heard about it quite a bit, from but before the lockdown when we were actually able to go to meetups and stuff.
I miss meetups so much.
Yeah, virtual just aren't the same. I've tried them.
They're not, but I'm taking I have my dad, he's been sick recently. I have a sick parent, and so I can't be around people and take the chance of catching it. So the fact that we do have the virtual, it's a lifesaver. I mean, I don't know what we would do without it. Oh, Gilded, we're actually part of the AICPA Engage conference. Next week, we'll be in that all week. We have a really cool virtual booth. We were chosen for their Accounting for the Future Startup Accelerator. And so as part of that, we're actually presenting at Engage conference this week.
Cool.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Nice. All right. So we're getting towards the end of this. Want to wrap it up. But first, I'm sure you probably have a challenge for everybody, because I know when we talk, you encourage people to check out the system, check out Gilded. So tell everybody one where to go. I'll have the description in this, in the description of this video when it's posted, and in the podcast when it's posted. But tell everybody where to go to get more information and test it out.
All right. So you can go to gilded.finance. That's GILDED.finance. Click try it for free. Send us an invoice. Send me an invoice. If it's for $10 or under, and I'll pay it.
Nice.
USDC, Bitcoin, or ETH.
All right. That's a good challenge. I like that. And then I'll see how easy it is.
Yes, it's super simple. There's a little intercom bot on the software. Just tell me who you are and tell me that you heard about Gilded from Blockchain Wayne, and I will send you my email so you can send me an invoice.
Nice, awesome. Yeah, so I challenge everybody, check it out. A lot of great solutions here. If you have a business, why not start accepting crypto? You may get 1 out of every 100 or every 1,000 transactions right now paid in crypto, but do it. Be one of the first to offer it. And as adoption gets closer and things evolve more, you'll be on the cutting edge instead of trying to lag behind and figure this out in a few years.
And it's great for marketing.
Yeah.
Right. It's an entirely new segment to market to for your business. So
yeah, I see all the time in crypto groups on Facebook and other places where they're like, what other businesses accept crypto? Because some people that are in the cryptocurrency space want to be able to pay for goods. Whenever I have the opportunity, I'm kind of like Jason, whenever I have the opportunity, I want to be able to pay in crypto, right? Yeah, it may be great to hold for long term for stuff that'll go up. But if I'm going to be paying anyway, I want to get more people using crypto because I feel that's a better investment than just, holding, waiting for it to go up.
And you don't have to give someone all of your private information to pay them with crypto.
Yeah.
I mean, that's number one. I don't have to give you my credit card number and, the code on the back and my address. And I'm not giving all that. I don't want to give all of that information up to buy something. I just want to send you the money and you send it to me, right? Whatever it is.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
I'm in it for the mission.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. I think that's why we all clicked when we met. It's more than just about, crypto is more than just about trying to get rich off of future gains. It's about so many different things that could change the world. So I'll challenge everybody. I'm sure you agree. Look up Andreas Antonopoulos' work and look through some of his beginner stuff, and you'll see, because so many people come into crypto, myself included. Initially, it was in terms of I wanted to make some money. I looked at it as an investment, a speculative investment. But once, like you said, once you go down that rabbit hole and you start seeing all the implications, it's so much more than just, hey, I want to make some money on gains.
It's so much more than that. Yep. But that's a fun part.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go Bitcoin.
Yep. All right, Raina. Well, hey, it's been a pleasure talking to you today, interviewing you, sharing with Gilded. So I appreciate you for hopping in. Give us your time to explain Gilded, and definitely an awesome offer. So I hope everybody takes her up on that. As far as sending her an invoice less than $10, they'll pay it.
I will pay it. Give me a call. Talk to you soon. Thanks, Wayne.
Cool. Thanks, Raina. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you in the next episode.